Welcome back to the Crack and Power Podcast. We're your hosts, Yoshko and Brandon. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about how to build muscle. A lot of people think that this is a mystery, but it's actually really simple if you look at the science. Let's dive in.
Welcome back to the Crack and Power Podcast.
So obviously, Brandon and I, we are massive and we have so much muscle.
So much I don't even know what to do with it.
Yeah. So clearly we are the types of people that you want to be listening to about building muscle. But all jokes aside, there is a science behind building muscle. And although we might not be the biggest guys that you've ever seen, I'm $170 and Brandon's like $160. So, I mean, we've built some muscle in our days.
We have. But in certain places.
Yeah. And so I think, there is a science behind it, and that's what we're going to be talking about in today's episode. And first thing that we're going to be talking about is the proper rep ranges and also the volume that you need in order to build muscle. And the first thing that I want to say is that the volume is so important. A lot of people really don't understand how much volume it takes to build more muscle. Basically, when you're trying to increase your size, what you have to do is you have to keep lifting more weight for more reps and for more sets forever in order to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And once you stop or you stay the same, then that's the size that you're going to stay at.
Yeah, and hypertrophy, which is the scientific method or a scientific term for what we're trying to achieve, the key variable there is volume, like you said, right? But also volume with some sense of intensity. It can't just be like crazy high volume with like no load or no intensity. Otherwise, the runners, like marathon runners, would be the most jacked people on this earth, right? There does have to be a considerable amount of load for you to achieve the stress that it's going to cause to make that adaptation of building more muscle.
Yeah, for sure. And the thing is, most people, they never actually break through that strength threshold in order for them to actually start building muscle mass. So like if you're in the gym and you're still doing like 100, if you're a man and you're doing like 100-pound bench press, there's only so much muscle that you can build on that frame of strength, You have to, it's like trying to build a house without a foundation, right? The foundation is the strength. And then from there, you can easily pack on muscle if you have that strength. So that's why at the beginning, it's so important to work on strength.
Yeah, and I think a good example in the fitness industry would be like, guys who do calisthenics, right? They might not have any kind of like external load, like access to weights and barbells, dumbbells, etc., right? But they do crazy amounts of push-ups. They do crazy amounts of pull-ups. And you can get, pretty good, pretty fit, pretty far in building muscle. But you're never going to see a guy step on a bodybuilding show who just does only push-ups, right? He has to have some load that's going to be greater than what his body can actually produce itself.
Dude, are you sure about that though? Because gymnasts are like insanely jacked.
Yeah, they're jacked. Don't get me wrong. But
they're like, some of them look like bodybuilders.
Yeah. They're big, right? But we're talking about like they're doing so much volume. And actually, they're probably producing so much force too. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, I don't know if that was like the greatest example to use guys that are doing calisthenics because like calisthenics and gymnasts, like some of them are huge.
Yeah, but if you're going specifically only building muscle, then, you're going to want to have some crazier or much bigger load.
But the problem is like with calisthenics. So the thing with calisthenics though is that there's a massive amount of skills that you need to acquire in order for you to be able to be like even adequate at it, like let's say like for a lot of people, they even struggle with push-ups. They even like to even do a pull-up for a lot of people, like it might take them years to build up to that. And so there's things that you can do in the gym that can help accelerate that to the point where you're doing a pull-up, where if you were just at a park using a bar, it might take you a really, really long time to get there.
Right. So you're saying that there's a little bit of a skill gap that you can easily overcome in the gym. Because maybe you can use a machine, or maybe you can use like dumbbells that are like lighter than what you would be able to produce body weight.
Exactly, yeah. So that's why it's really important for you to, just come to the gym and just work on your strength at the gym.
Yeah, but everyone wants to get like super specific of what their volume is going to be in the gym. But hypertrophy is almost like dummy proof. Like you do anything above like 5 to 8 reps, like all the way up to like 30 almost, you're going to get really good hypertrophy as long as you push the intensity over time.
The main point that we want to make is that you have to have some underlying strength in order for you to be able to build that massive amount of volume that's required for you to build muscle on your body. So the next thing is, of course, progressive overload. I don't know how much time you want to spend on this because this one's just been so overdone. But progressive overload is just basically making sure that over time that you use heavier weights, that you have more reps, that you use more volume in order for you to build more strength and also more muscle mass.
Yeah, in a very simple snapshot, the way it looks like is you're trying to create a condition, which is, you adding more muscle. And the way you do that is having a stimulus, which is loading time on your tissues under tension with volume and intensity. And then after they do a recovery period, that's when you're going to build more muscle.
Mm-hmm. And so the next thing is nutrition and not just protein. I think so. Protein, yes, 100% essential for you to build muscle mass. Like that's fact. If you're not going to have enough protein, you're not going to build enough muscle. But the thing is, though, a lot of people neglect the whole nutrient side of things that affect your entire body. So if you were to like just simply Google search which vitamins, minerals are required for you to build muscle mass, it's like all of them, So if you're not getting an adequate amount of vitamin D, if you're not getting an adequate amount of iron or B vitamins, like you're not going to be able to build muscle, and especially not quickly. It might take you forever, or it might not even work at all. And the reason why is because all of these nutrients affect your hormones. They affect every single function in your body. So yeah, you have to have enough nutrients to be able to build muscle, which is a lot of time, unfortunately, neglected.
Yeah, and people will fall kind of victim to like, dirty bulking, right? Where you just try to ingest like a very high amount of calories and a very high amount of like protein, regardless of what is in it, right? And people will lean into like, fast food or very heavily processed like high protein items that you'll see on the shelves because they're convenient. And some people don't want to do like meal prep and just eat the actual amount of volume, because if you're eating like healthy, high protein items with like high amounts of carbs that you need, that's a lot of volume that you're going to have to eat in a day. It actually takes a lot of planning to like make all that, and then also time to eat it and be able to do it again over and over and over again.
Yeah.
So that would be the big difference between, you going into like a dirty bulk and versus you actually, feeding your body the nutrients and fuel that it needs to go through this recovery process and adaptation to build that muscle.
So it's really unfortunate because the way that the fitness industry looks at building muscle is through the lens of like all of these bodybuilders who are massive, yes, but they've gotten there through steroid use. And so now, there's all of these impressionable people thinking like, oh, all I need to do is fish and chicken breast and rice, which is like completely nutrient depleted. Like there's nothing in there. It's just like protein, carb, which works really well if you're on steroids. But it doesn't work that well if you're if you're trying to do this all naturally.
Yeah, if you think about it, like adding more muscle mass to your frame isn't really a good thing for your body in a sense that is like, it's a lot for your body to take on and maintain over time, right? Your body's only going to do that if it actually makes sense for the conditions that you're putting it in, right? So if you're just like a regular office worker, right, who doesn't really do much outside of it, your body's not going to feel inclined to put on more muscle mass. But if you're maybe like a mover who moves like couches every day, right, and you're lifting all these things, your body's going to be like, hey, we should probably bolster our joints and our tissues so we can go to work the next day, right? So just adding more muscle mass is actually going to take more calories, more energy the next day. It's not going to want to do that if the things under the hood aren't working very well.
Yeah, exactly. And so like if you don't have the right nutrient, like if you don't have enough nutrients in you, then it's just not going to happen, simply. Also, just kind of like going into the next thing here is one of our coaches, he actually a ton of muscle ever since he started working with us. Like I think he put on like 30 pounds or something like that. He's not overweight by any means. It was literally just like pure muscle. And he went for a blood test and they were like, oh, you have high blood pressure. And he's like, what? I'm so healthy. How would I have high blood pressure? It's like, dude, you put on like 30 pounds of muscle. It has to, of course, there's going to be more pressure in you, And so it's just something that a lot of people don't overlook. Just because you're jacked, just because you have a lot of muscle mass doesn't mean that you're healthy. So that's just one thing that we have to mention here. It's not always the healthiest just to add more muscle. But one more thing as well is the rest and recovery. This is probably the most overlooked thing when it comes to building muscle. But like guys like, I think LeBron James, I'm not a big basketball guy, but I'm pretty sure he said in interviews that like all he does is just train, eat, sleep.
He's the king of sleep.
Yeah. So apparently, so he'll be on the plane, sleeping on the plane, gets off the plane, goes in the limo. He's sleeping on the limo, wakes up, eats, and then like goes trains and like sleeps on the basketball court. Like he's like always constantly sleeping throughout the day. He probably gets like 12 to 14 hours of sleep every single day. And it's because of the amount of training that he's doing. If you're training for 4 or 5 hours every single day, then you're going to have to recover hard. And the thing is, a lot of people, they get their advice from all of these YouTubers and steroid users on bodybuilding.com, and they never talk about that. They just talk about training and sometimes eating. But if you don't sleep right, you're not going to be able to build muscle. It's kind of going back to what you said earlier. Like if you don't have that foundation and you're just building a house of cards.
Well, just plainly simply put, if we go back to the process of what it actually takes to put on muscle, right? It's like you're creating a stimulus that's going to put stress. Some people say it's like micro tears on the tissues, and then you're going to come back through the recovery phase once you're fueled and you're adequately, fed. That's the process of what you're actually putting on muscle. So if you're not actually focusing on recovering, and sleep being one of the biggest levers that you can pull, you're leaving a lot kind of on the table.
So if you're trying to build muscle, like a lot of muscle mass, like it's not about getting 7 hours of sleep, not even about getting 8. Like it could potentially be even getting more than 9 hours of sleep every single day in order for you to build muscle. So if you're feeling stuck and you're like, I just can't build muscle, I'm working out so much, it's probably your recovery. It probably is. Like you need that recovery in order to build muscle. I think there's like a quote out there that's like, the muscle is built while you sleep or something. Like I think like you mentioned it recently on one of the podcasts.
One kind of like phrase I really like is like, there's no such thing as like overtraining. It's more so just under recovery.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's like totally true. Like in the case of like LeBron James, we're going to say the same thing. Like he trains so much that he needs to recover so much. Right. And so I think that if you are, even for you, like if you're just starting off and you're already like introducing 2 workouts in the week in which you were going from nothing, that's still a substantial amount of what you're adding. So you're going to have to add a substantial amount of focus on your recovery as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's the thing. Like even if you're adding in 2 sessions a week of working out, like 45 minutes twice a week, like you probably are going to have to sleep more even for that.
Proportionately, like to someone who's not been doing anything to go to that, you're going to have to actually, ramp it up in the same fashion.
Yeah.
It has to be, right? And people think that they need to jump into being like, I just need to be like LeBron James now. Where it's like, he didn't get to there like in 1 week. He didn't just like start like, okay, next week I'm going to start sleeping 14 hours and playing 12 hours of basketball.
Yeah.
10 hours of basketball.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hope that podcast was a little bit different than what you would normally hear from a muscle building podcast. Like we kind of joked about earlier, we're not like bodybuilding guys, but we've been around with enough clients who want to build muscle and help people. And Yoshko's even competed in bodybuilding, right? But we just want to give a different kind of perspective of just being like, hey, yeah, just get high calories and high protein in. There's a lot more to building muscle, and especially ones that are going to be functional and usable to you in your daily life. So hope you enjoyed that episode, and we'll see you in the next one.